Radio, so we're now into episode 15 of your campaign as a motley crew of sailors. To briefly recap what you all got up to, since all of you remember, there will be points and tests taken later. You went and visited a temple district that had been abandoned, chasing a prisoner that had been on your ship, who had managed to escape when you first arrived.
Is there a temple fight again?
That was the temple fight.
Okay, good.
So you wandered on in and discovered that the temple wasn't as abandoned as originally thought. You did discover the escaped sailor, and in the ensuing battle, he perished in a giant explosion.
Woohoo!
And you then escaped from there and sealed the temple doors shut as a good safety measure, and then got out of Dodge. You've then returned to the ship and found that the repairs have been completed in your absence, and that people have been gathering to try to join in on the crew. Neros and the captain did a speech to the crew saying what their plans were, and that they'd been given a letter of marque that would allow you to effectively kill any Shaik vessel and get rewarded by Port Marley and the free ports for it. The job of recruiting the new crew was delegated to you lot.
Woo! And we did it responsibly.
That went about as well as we could have expected.
And you found yourselves with 5 new crew.
Out of the, 4 we were meant to hire?
Out of the 4 you were meant to hire. That's alright, one of them's small, he'll fit. So,
to be fair, Bingo is also small.
By their powers combined, they count as 1.
Share a bunk.
I don't think the kid and Bingo should share a bunk. I'd kind of want the kid alive.
It'd be like throwing a mongoose as a snake in a sack.
I'm ready for bed. I will not be sharing with that child.
So, with the new crew on board, Mug decided to stage a bit of a brawl on deck with the 2 twins. Tarin spent the entire time drooling.
Oh yeah, true. I've brought a bucket for Tarin.
Yeah, because you fancy them, don't you?
No.
Of course not.
I'm gonna very obviously wave at the twins as well, as like we were teasing her, Tarin, about fancying them.
And after that, you were called into the captain's quarters to decide what the path this ship was going to take would be. And you had come up with a couple of ideas. Let me see if I can copy that.
Kill the stuff.
And just for a refresher, that should be the twins.
Oh no.
That's in your search history now.
My search history is probably very, very disturbing in its own right.
We don't want to know about it.
That's right, you'll find out later in the campaign.
That sounds good. Reassuring.
That said, you had Neros put down a couple of options of what to do, and then Lady Alara had also mentioned some of the details of what she had found in letters that had been stolen from the embassy.
She showed her boob documents, that's true.
Yep.
Her boob documents?
Hey, that's where she hid him.
Yep, so she revealed that there was indication of a black market in one place, and that there was a smuggling ring that had been helping House Begatal, or working for House Begatal in the area.
Oh yeah, I'd like to murder them.
That said, you finished in the captain's chambers and went to have your last night of freedom in port. I believe Tarin and Sen went below decks. The rest of you were free to wander off down. That was the child.
Yeah, so
Yes, Dave.
I don't know
Oh
what
my
Tarin
God.
likes.
I will glare at the child until he is gone.
Quite clearly,
I shall
Tarin
pat
likes
the dingo and
twins.
offer. What was that?
Quite clearly, Tarin likes the twins.
She wants a double.
Yep.
She grew up in a brothel. It's probably not the weirdest thing she'd have ever heard of.
Fair. To be fair, while Bingo is glaring at the kid, I'm gonna pet the dingo and go like, it's okay, don't bite it. Hey, should we go blow something up or something? Like say goodbye to her.
Okay.
So what are we going to blow up?
I always wanted to blow up a really big fish, like a shark.
There's water here. Let's do it.
Where there's water, there is sharks.
Do we use you as a lure or? I've never really fished before. How do you catch a shark?
Oh.
We
Well,
could put someone's leg in the water.
how that you feel?
I heard Mug volunteering to be the lure.
Good. And I approach Mug
Nah.
to try and lift Mug. But, you know, I'm weak, so don't worry. Oh, no, wait.
Do you want to check if you... Yeah,
Yes.
I think you
Yes.
should make a roll for this.
Yes, I'm going to try.
Yeah, make a roll for this. Do you have might?
Glenn, what do I roll?
So what you're attempting to do to Mug?
Lift him. Her.
You're gonna need a strength might to do that.
Okay, I don't have might, so... 6 stunt points.
And
That's
Mm.
What was the total?
15, 16, 17 total.
Mug, you get to roll to oppose.
Oh, is it a might?
Yep.
On? Okay. I have to actually bring up my character sheet. I was not expecting this.
Wait, you weren't expected to be lifted up by the
No,
scrawny...
I was not expecting to have to even oppose it. to be fair.
Clearly, you underestimated us.
Ah,
Clearly. So might add to power test, right?
yeah, might is strength plus 2, I believe, if you have might.
Yeah. And I have +4 on my strength.
That's why the word looks weird. I should type it correct.
Okay. Oh, the honor roll. Okay, so I didn't roll that well, so you might actually have caught Mug off guard. Well.
I have the feeling, though, that Mug is quite heavy, which would mean that it's more like a full body tackle than anything.
Let me see if I can add this up.
Holy shit!
My math is not working. Oh, okay. So that's only 14. I didn't roll particularly well.
Ooh, in that case, I rolled higher.
Yeah, but not by much. So I think like lifting. I don't know. Does he actually lift him up, or momentarily, or?
So what were you attempting to do? Turf him over the side?
Yes, but we're still in a room, so it's more like lift him up and walk out of the room.
Uh,
So you
you probably need Constitution to carry him for a long time.
So what you've done is you've just run full speed at Mug, picked him off the ground, and actually battering rammed him through the door.
I'm gonna set.
Please tell me Bingo is still on your shoulders at this point.
Probably. Like, didn't Bingo have a permanent place on the shoulder?
I'm also gonna make you do a dex at disadvantage.
Me?
Yep.
Okay, that's not too good, and that's worse. Sorry for anyone that gets harmed by this or something. +1, +2, +8.
Mug is going to. It also has like fist fighting.
Glenn,
Yep.
what was the thing that happened when you rolled 3 ones?
Oh, lovely. So, as you come barreling out the door using
I changed my
Mug
mind.
as...
I changed my mind. I don't want to be on his shoulders anymore.
It's too late now. We're all in this together.
That Bingo might jump. Like if she sees if Bingo sees the door coming, she could. It could jump from the shoulder.
You come barreling through the door and find a small group of crew, including the 2 twins, coming the other way, and trip directly into them. Mug goes face first into the crotch of one of the twins, doubling him over.
Welcome, Mug.
Wait, I went crutch first into the twins.
No,
No, you went mouth first into his crotch.
Wow. Okay.
you've headbutted him hard. You hear a giant oof groan of pain, and he's now doubled over and falling on top of you.
Right.
Welcome, Mug.
Do you think this is helping? Well, you know what this is. This is a ship roll. This is a ship roll.
And Edric, you tumble because of the impact and crash into the other twin, bouncing hard off him and landing flat on your back, sending Bingo flying.
Land safely, little friend.
Okay. So after Mug landed, he's like, oh, what's your name again? Silas or Edric or whatever. I see you were testing me if I was ready for an unexpected ship roll. Well, I'm always ready for a roll. So Mug is turning this into a fist fight.
Are there
Fight! Shit! Fight!
are there portholes in the site?
You're now on deck.
Oh, in that case, I'm tempted to just dive.
Safest option, man. Safest option.
Silas knows how hard Mug can punch.
Well-
Silas is gonna contemplate gunpowder, water, gunpowder, water. Not a good idea. And he's gonna do the only safe thing he knows. He's gonna run to the cannon that's not yet like aimed at the not yet set into its place. The one that got delivered,
Yep.
and he's just going to try and turn that around and go, "I'm not fist fighting."
This is the cannon. Not loaded, guarding here. Look.
What was that?
Did I understand it right that you went to the cannon? Or?
Yup. And I literally said, "Fuck no, I'm not fighting you."
You see, the problem is how quickly can you load a
Also, you'll have to roll strength to single-handedly move it.
Yeah, because it's turned outside.
This one wasn't yet. It wasn't fixed into its position yet.
It still requires a 3-person crew from your experience.
It's heavy. Wait. This ship is still at the dock, right?
Yeah.
So the other option would be to try and jump the gap to the dock and have water be in between me and Mug,
You could do that.
which would feel like the safer option, honestly. I think he'd go for that.
So what are you doing in the end?
I'm running towards the side of the ship where the dock is, and I'm going to try to jump the entire gap. I have no clue how big the gap is, but I'm going to try and jump it.
Rightio, that will be a dex. Acrobatics, if you've got it.
I've got no focuses in dex. That's a 4, a 5. Is that a 5 or a 3? A 3. Okay. 3, 4, 5 means 15.
You contemplate stopping at the cannon before realizing that's going to take too long, and simply continue on, put a foot up on the railing on the side, and leap out over the water towards the dock, and land with your heels just touching the edge of the dock. You do that arms windmilling thing as you almost overbalance backwards into the water.
Whoa.
Mug, it doesn't take you much effort to push off the severely winded twin, who is swearing and rolling around on the ground.
Oh dear.
His brother is pissing himself laughing.
But it's brawl time! Does no one understand this? No one respects brawls anymore. What has the word gone?
Maybe you can find a temple to go to.
Please tell me there's popcorn on this ship. Bingo is desperately searching for popcorn to eat while this is going on.
This is only a ship. A ship where we have a ship brawl. In a temple, we have a temple fight. And a ship. Learn it.
How about you find a temple to do a temple fight in? But not the one with the zombies. That one is scary.
Excuse me.
That's too far away. Let's just brawl now. If you started this.
No, all I did was tackle you.
Which is, that's how you start a brawl.
No, but you volunteered to be shark bait.
I didn't... Look, if you want to brawl, I'm happy to brawl. If you start a brawl, then finish it up, as you should do. You don't back out of the brawl.
I don't think you like the way I fight my... To which he, partly unsheathes his pistol.
The twin is just looking between you, Mug, and over towards where he can hear Edric shouting back towards the deck, and shrugs and goes, "Well, I presume this means it's time for us to go to the tavern."
That's a good idea.
But don't take away my brawl. Let's have at least a quick brawl before we go to the tavern. Let's not just leave without a brawl if we started one? Is there no one here who's strong enough?
The twin that's still standing laughs and goes, under normal circumstances, yes. Although you seem to have put my brother out of action here with a brilliant headbutt to the nads.
Well, you see, that's just an excuse. You should be by yourself strong enough for a fight.
Always, but I want a beer first.
We can have a fight in the beer.
Well, there's none on ship, so how about we go to the tavern and have a beer there?
And the bar fight.
Always happy for that at the end of the night.
Right, then let's go and party in bar fight.
So he turns and helps his brother back up off of the deck, and they make their way back towards the gangplank. Some of the crew have gathered up and are heading off on their way down.
Can I ask one of the twins a question as they pass me by?
Go for it.
I'm gonna go. Hey, you guys look like each other quite a bit. Would you think it would be possible for one of you to start brawling, Mug, and then once you're tired, just switch with the other twin? I'll pay handsomely.
They look at each other and then look across at you and go, we do that all the time. It's it's a really good way to make money during certain competitions.
Look, I like your way of thinking. Then there's one final question. I have this totally unassuming box with a sack in it and a note, and I need it posted. Do you know where I could safely get this carried off to Bacard? Bacard, however you pronounce it.
They shrug and go, I'm certain the syndicate will help you with that.
Ah, good. I think I have a place there where they can, I have connections there that might help me then.
Well, if you got the right enough connections, there's always a syndicate mug somewhere around in the taverns. They might be able to help you.
What was the name of that hand dude?
So
That's out loud. That's in character and out loud.
They raise an eyebrow at you and go, sounds like your connections go all the way to the top, my friend.
Well, that one helped me make sure that my friends here would not try to kill me.
The twin that's answering you sort of glances back at the ship and go, you mean those friends or someone else?
Yeah, those. Here's the poster. Look, they got the nose all wrong.
He laughs and goes, I see the resemblance there. I take it one of your friends decided to try collect on the poster.
Yep. I'm glad they didn't figure it out that quick.
Don't tell me it was the dwarf. That one's
Yep.
not got an awful lot between the ears.
Well,
Hey, what was that?
it means that you're a good brawler.
That's right.
The twin just smirks at you, Edric, and goes, exactly.
And well, he had the smarts of that one to help, and I point at Tarin.
Tarin, you see one of the twins look directly at you and cock an eyebrow.
Oh.
Tara's just gonna freeze like a rabbit in headlights. It's gonna be no.
She was like the most convincing display.
Twin looks back at you, Edric. You're not actually certain which of the two it is. And he chuckles and goes, well, that must have been a comedic pair.
I can only assume. Awesome. Let's get this posted then. And he's going to quickly scribble a note into the box as well.
So the twins lead a chunk of the crew down to the nearest tavern and basically swarm through the door and take over any available table they can find. As you go in, Edric, one of them points at a fella that's sitting in the corner who's wearing black clothing with a brooch on his chest with a white hand on it.
Do I recognize him, or is it just...
You don't recognize him, but you recognize that the brooch looks an awful lot like the sign outside the shattered hand.
Okay, I'm gonna go there.
He looks up at you and goes, "You got business with me, friend?"
Yes, in fact.
Well, take a seat.
I do, and I quickly order 2 drinks, one for him and one.
He raises an eyebrow and goes, "Very accommodating of you. Most of you people here don't bother with the pleasantries. How can we help you?"
I have a box that I need shipped to a palace.
Interesting. I'm certain some of my associates might be able to do that. And where is this palace?
Bouquet.
Very interesting. And how do you want it delivered, and who by?
I don't really care who delivers it, or preferably during dinner, I guess, around the time that the entire Begatal family is gathered. And I'd like it delivered immediately to the table and just matter-of-factly going, "Here." And I need this letter to be on top of it.
He picks up the letter and has a glance at it.
It's sealed with a signet ring of Begatal.
He raises an eyebrow and goes, "I'm presuming this here is theirs?"
Yes.
Well, it will help us identify the right mob to deliver it to. And how is it you knew to come to speak to me?
I've
Not seen you here before.
I've worked with the hand before.
He raises an eyebrow and sort of looks at you and then sort of glances around the room to try and get sight of those that you came in with. And then he cracks a smile and goes, "What's the name of the ship you're from, lad?"
I'm currently on the Cirrus, and I came in on the Argonaut.
Ah, you're from that group.
Yep.
I can get this done for you, and I'll even give you our personalized rates. Job like this would normally cost you somewhere in the realm of 5 gold, but I'll do it for 1.
That's a deal. And I'm just gonna slide a gold coin across. Very dramatically subtly, you know? like very theatrical, but trying to be subtle about it.
He picks the coin, flicks it up in the air and catches it, and then pockets it. And then gives you a wink. It'll be delivered right in the middle of dinner as soon as our associate gets off the first ship to Picard.
Thank you very much.
Happy to be of service and keep up the good work for our associates back at the Shattered Hand, and you'll go far. Now, if you excuse me, I believe I've got this delivery of yours to send on its way.
Good luck, and I'll see you around. And with that, he's going to stand up and just return to his table without the box.
The man in black grabs his drink, finishes it, and then collects the box and the letter and walks out through a back door. After about 15 minutes, you will see him return and take his seat again.
Nice. I'm going to sit with the rest of the party, and I'm going to go on to bingo about how we're finally going to catch a shark eventually at some point.
Some of the crew have been drinking fairly heavily and enjoying the fact that they're able to get away with this on their last night in port. There is some gambling games going on. There is a minstrel playing reasonably but not great in the corner. It is a fairly average dockfront bar.
Right. So what's the policy here? How many drinks before you start the fight?
Well, I promised you 3 ales, I believe.
Right. 3 L's. I should be able to drink that very quickly. That should get me started with the fight. That's a good amount of ale.
Is this the kind of establishment where I'd wave over the bar wench, or do I walk over to the bar, or do I fire a pistol in the air to get attention? That could be an option as well.
Yeah, what kind of place is it?
It's a pretty shabby establishment. There is a bar wench running around, but she looks to be somewhat run off her feet by the giant influx of sailors that are in the bar. There is a barkeep, and he is serving a couple of people that have come up to the bar itself to get their food and drink.
I'm gonna go to the bar to get the 3 ales for Mug.
After getting,
All of them at once. That's
No,
a
of
very
course.
bad idea.
after shooing
Of
away
course, he's
the
gonna waterfall them.
after shooing away a batch of sailors, he glances over at you and goes, "What can I do you for?"
Make it 4 ales.
Easy done, easy done. And he starts pouring away. As he is doing so, he looks over at you and goes, "Last night in port, by the looks of it."
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. No shenanigans in here, mind you.
I unfortunately am in no position to guarantee that about any of my companions.
He chuckles a bit and goes, "That's fine. I've got my own way of keeping trouble under wraps here."
Is it one of these? And I'm gonna show him the pistol that's like proudly presented on my chest.
He chuckles and goes, "Hey, I've got that if I need it, but the way I deal with trouble's a little bit more innovative than that."
Ooh. Hey, Mug.
What? Mug is drink.
Yeah, here's your ale. I recommend trying to see if you can start a fight or something.
Okay, look. If I have ale, I start drinking it first, because if I start the fight, then it will go to waste. So you drink first.
I'll just make sure it won't go to waste by drinking it for you.
No. You can't have a proper bar fight without having drunk.
The barkeep sets the 3 pints of ale onto the not so clean bar, and then squints at you slightly and goes, "By my mind, that's about 24 copper."
24 copper. Okay.
Was the barkeep listening to our conversation?
I'm gonna toss him 3 silver pieces, and I'm not gonna take change. I'm just gonna throw the 3 silvers, then unstick the tankards of ale from the bar, and I'll slowly make my way through the crowd, bringing the ale all the way to Mug, and I'm gonna go, "You have 5 seconds, otherwise I start helping you."
Over your shoulder, you see the barkeep sort of stare at the silver for a second, snatch it, bite a coin, and then pocket it.
He just pocketed it? Like the money goes into his pockets?
Yep.
Damn it! Damn it! That was not the plan. Oh well. So I'm gonna sit down at the group and I'm just gonna watch Mug chug those drinks as quick as possible. And I'm gonna keep egging him on. Or her on, I don't know. Mug is...
Mug is a he.
Okay, in that case I'm gonna keep egging him on.
Right. I think Mug starts to chug down the drink. I think he can drink quite well. I think dwarves have a racial skill. No? Yeah, I have a focus on constitution drink.
Nice.
So I can probably chug down all 3.
Yeah, I'll get you to do a constitution check with your focus for that.
Okay. What does that mean? How much I add to it? Oh, of course I bloody roll a 16 on it. And my constitution is 3.
So the focus means you add 2 to that, so that was what, 21?
21. 21 on a bloody king.
You drink it like it's water. You hear, as you get into your second one, you hear cheers, and by the time you're necking the third one, there is just a chorus of chug, 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 chug.
Nice. So when I'm finished, I'm like, well, now it's time for a good brawl. And probably throw a chair at one. For good measure.
So it took you no effort, and you don't feel even slightly tipsy.
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
Oh, I missed that.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like a great gift. That's basically a mug.
Can I try to jump us again, because
Yep.
perfect here either.
That's
Do we want to try Central Europe again?
Yeah, bump us to that.
Poof. I believe
okay.
we're there.
So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so when Mug finishes his drink, he's like, well, now that was a good drink. Now it's time for a good, proper bar fight. And then he throws a chair at someone for good measure.
Radio, can you roll me a d6?
Okay, so that's a 2. What does that do?
I'm about
Damage.
to work it out.
Damage, you've now murdered the poor bar wench.
Oh no!
Hit her in the side of the head as she was working.
Oh no! That's so crazy.
So, you finish chugging your ales and pick up a chair and just swing it wildly and catch the bar wench clean across the face
Oh no!
with
not
the chair
environment!
as she's carrying some ales to another table.
Oh, I wasn't trying to get the environment. Well,
The other table see both the wench and their ales go flying and go ballistic. They flip their table and run at you, Mug.
One thing the bartender said to us. One thing.
Oh, did the bartender say something to us?
Yeah,
Yep.
don't cause any trouble.
Oh, Mug wasn't listening.
Tell.
It's too late now.
Just gonna stand on the table. We are not a part of this. We have nothing to do with this individual over here. They do not speak for us.
The bar wench is unconscious on the floor.
Oh, I feel so bad.
Do you? Do you know?
4 toughs are charging at you. The barkeep is just staring in shock before he eventually pulls himself together and goes, "Oi, that's my bleeding wife!" And then
Oh no!
I swear I wasn't trying to.
and then he dives under the bar and you can hear him shoving stuff out of the way to grab something.
I'm gonna kick over the table and hide behind it. But peek over it. Because I'm bloody interested to see what he's pulling out.
I was just encouraged to play at this bar. I wanted to have a ship roll. I didn't. Okay. I will stop feeling bad about it because this is Mug and feel bad about it.
The twins look at each other, grin, and basically get prepared to fight side by side with you, Mug.
Yay!
And with
That's
that,
fantastic.
roll initiative.
Can I roll as well in case
Yep.
I want to jump over the table and join later on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mug is not very initiative. But Mug has 1 stunt point.
11
It's
plus
not great.
dexterity. Oh no, wait, 12 plus dexterity. So that's 15 is.
Yes, Bingo, you may hide. I will get you to still roll initiative, but also roll a dexterity stealth.
Oh dear. Yeah, so my initiative is not exactly the best.
Can I hide near the coffee machine?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Wait, there's a coffee machine?
There is now.
Basically, there's like a drip coffee filter style thing. It doesn't look like it's been used very frequently.
Steal it, steal it, steal it.
So let's go 15.
That way we can have coffee on the ship. More of it.
Righty.
Or do we have like a Starbucks location in our ship?
You have the basic materials to make coffee if needed.
I do.
Do that.
You alright, Kate?
I see talking, but I also see mute.
I'm sorry.
There
I'm
we go.
Yes, I just put myself because I'm coughing a bit. So
Yeah, we couldn't actually hear you for a moment there.
yeah, no, I was on mute because I've got a bit of a cough, so I keep coughing and I was trying to be silent.
Okay.
What am I rolling to hide, Glenn?
I just
Dexterity
wanted to make sure
stealth.
to check.
Wait, that's but that's for bingo.
That's for Bingo to try and hide.
Yeah, Mug is not hiding.
Tarin and
No?
Wisp, are you just standing and watching or hiding?
Tarin's just gonna stand at the side and watch.
I'm
gonna-
Hmm? Yeah, sorry, Wisp.
I'm gonna stand behind the bar.
Radio. Tarin, you sort of push to the side of the crowd and just watch. And Wisp, you manage to slink over to near the bar. No one's paying too much attention to you. They're more focused on Mug right now.
Aww.
I'm gonna help myself to cheeky wee drink.
Right, you. You get away with that because the barkeep's not looking right now.
Oh yeah.
Right, you. And now,
Yeah, my initiative is.
and
Oh, I
that,
just had to let my cat in. She was out.
and yep, they get no bonus, and you guys. Righty. Oh, so based on that, Edric gets to go first.
I'm gonna basically tip over the table and stand behind it, but look over it because I want to see what the barman pulls out. But I also don't want to be in the immediate hit area.
Rightio. So you can do that. The next person to move is actually the barman, and he
Oh dear.
pops back up from behind the bar holding a pouch with a long string attached to it
Uh-oh.
and starts you trying to use flint to light it.
Uh-oh.
So he's a burning rope dart.
Do I recognise this as any sort of explosive, or is it like a weapon? Is he going to use like a poi at us?
So it looks
This bar fight might not take long.
it looks
Well, you set your bar on fire, man. What can we say?
it looks like a small pouch that has been wrapped up, dipped in wax and sealed, and it's got a cord coming out of it that he is trying to light. Bingo,
So-
you're pretty certain it's explosive.
It's explosive!
We are in the middle of a bar fight.
Can I... Oh wait, it's not my turn.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere in particular, you hear Bingo scream it's explosive, but most of you can't really seem to see where he is. Bingo, from your hidey place, you realize that you're pointing and no one can see you.
Right. I guess it's all up to me now.
And with that, the four fellas who were waiting on their ales all charge you, Mug, and both the twins.
Well, at least we'll have some time to fight. Right?
They're a little pissed, so they get... Does a 16 hit?
Oh, someone dropped off.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is sound better now, Tarin?
back. Yeah, I can hear you again now, guys.
Mug, does a 16 hit you?
I have a different. Oh. Oh, did our health regenerate?
From your brawl, yes.
Good. Otherwise, that would have been a bit hard for us. Yeah, so I have a defense of 12, so I presume that hits.
Yep, they've hit. So one of them is going straight for you, Mug, and the other 3 are trying to go for the twins. So the one that has hit you is going to... They haven't drawn weapons, they're just throwing punches right now.
Yeah.
And he is actually going to try to knock you prone.
Oh.
In fact, he's going to do that.
Oh, he knocked me prone.
So
already.
he's going to knock you prone, and he's also going to deliver a mighty blow.
Ah. Very aggressive.
Points.
Yeah. Not that it made much difference, so that winds up being 3 damage in total.
But 3 damage in total.
Yep.
In total.
Yep.
I have an armor of 4.
Yep.
I was waiting to enter the cage and I lost.
Are
Okay.
you now upset by the fact that he's not damaging?
Weak. Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
The-
Thank you for
the way
reminding
you
me that he
wanted
had
to say it is
strength.
weak.
Sorry, I had to add 3 to that, so that is actually 6 damage.
Okay, so that's 2.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a bit better.
A bit more than what I was expecting. Excuse me.
That's right, he rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh, okay. Acceptable.
Rightio. And the other ones are going for the twins, and they are also hitting. And they are going to do the same. Rightio. Both twins are flat on their backsides and look like they've gotten some solid hits in on them as well.
Oh, so they actually hit the
Yep.
Oh no, we don't want them dead yet.
Shh, the bro. No one is killing him. Just
And that brings us to Bingo.
Hello. Okay, so has the explosive thing been thrown?
Nope, he is still trying to light it at the minute. Looks like
Okay.
he will be ready to throw it shortly.
Can I attempt to run and jump on him? I know I'm not gonna be able to tackle him because I'm too little. So can I try and like jump on him, like on his back, so that I can like grab it from him and that.
Yep. Right, yeah. So you're going to run from your hiding place and attempt to grapple him.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Do a strength with advantage since he doesn't see you coming.
Okay. Where's my other dice gone? Okay. Okay. Well, they both came out to the same number. They both came out to a really solid 14.
Rightio. So you rush out of the shadows and scamper up onto the bar and rush across it and jump and find yourself now grappling this old man around the back of the neck and riding his back.
Cool. Can I try and grab the thing?
Yep, do a dex to try and grab it as he starts trying his best to throw you off.
Okay. Oh, 16.
Yep, you manage to snatch it as he sort of tries to spin you off. And you just lean across the bar, riding him like a bucking bronco, and grab it as you go past.
I've gotten used to riding on people's shoulders now. I'm pretty good at it.
I
You're s-
want bingo in on a rodeo.
You seem to be finding this a little bit more enjoyable than normal.
There's no doors to be crashed through.
Yeah, there's no danger of me hitting my head. Okay, so I've got the thing. Can I, like, stuff it down my shirt or something so he can't get it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Right, I'll tie it around my neck and, like, stuff it down the shirt.
So you loop the cord around your neck and drop the pouch down your shirt. It leaves a rather large bulge in front of you.
Okay. So I'll probably I'll pat the man's head and just be like, shh, shh, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Shh.
He's completely enraged and
Uh-oh.
is basically spluttering, "Get the hell off me, you little frickin' imp!"
How dare you?
That, my good sir, was rude.
And with that, we now come down to Mug.
Yeah. Well, Mug is going to punch the nearest person, I guess the one who seems pretty weak.
Yep, so you pick yourself back up and go for the nearest tough.
Okay. Oh, I get some stunt.
Go for it.
With fist fighting, I work on accuracy, right?
Yep, accuracy to hit and strength for damage.
Accuracy is only +3, said they in the word. But I get 3 stunt points. What can I do with 3?
So you can do stuff like Mighty Blow and so on.
Yeah.
So the first twin.
Okay, so does 13 hit?
Yep,
it's
a
all-
13 does hit.
Okay. So mighty blow is that 2? Is it double damage or two?
It is an
attack?
extra d6 for damage.
Oh, extra d6 for damage. Yeah, 2d6. Let's do that. +3. Work well.
Yeah. Both twins have picked themselves up and are also throwing punches.
That's so that should be 9. 9 points of damage.
Rightio, noted.
Ah, it's a good bro fight. Let's fight fair and square.
Unlike
Those are good.
yourselves, these guys are not wearing armor, so you land really solid hits on them.
They were not prepared for the pub brawl. This is how
So
I do my pub crawls.
that is 9 points of damage on the one nearest to you. And the twins have gotten up and have dealt that. And that to them. And that brings us back to the top of the order, which is Edric.
Yes. So the guy with the swinging thing that he was attempting to burn got jumped by a bingo,
Yep.
and the rest of them is pretty much a madness.
Yep, there is now a circle surrounding Mug and the twins. People are, now that they're not terrified of being blown up, cheering on the bar brawl.
Wait, they're not terrified of being blown up.
Yep.
They are regulars in the bar.
Yep.
Oh.
Uh,
Well, Mug is certainly not terrified of being burned up. He's there we go.
As far as you can tell, they were keeping their distance while the barman had hit whatever was in his hands, but as soon as Bingo jumped him, they're now in and cheering and forming a bit of a
okay.
loose circle.
Okay. In that case, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold my action. If it really comes to it that someone pulls a weapon, I'm going to pull my pistol and shoot.
Go for it. That brings us next back to Bingo, unless Tarin or Whisp want to intervene at any point.
I'm good behind the bar. I'm having a grand time.
Oh, actually, sorry.
What?
That actually brings us to the barman who gets to go before our Bingo.
You see, at this point, we just need like a walking bucket of popcorn. We need to hire someone to follow us around carrying a massive wheelbarrow full of popcorn.
Flaley made promotion.
Bingo, roll a dex check.
Oh. 7.
Right. So the barman has attempted to throw you off and toss you back across the bar, but in doing so, he slips and cracks his head on the bar on the way down.
Oh no, poor barman, not the barman too.
And
Oh my
Bingo,
God.
you also hit the bar on the way down. So you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage to the head on the way past.
Wow.
I can see smells.
Oh my.
Right, so the barman is laying on the ground.
Is it my go? Can I
It
use my
is.
go to use a healer's kit on the barman?
The 4 guys are actually going to be swinging at Mug and the twins again. So 2 of them are going for you, Mug, and I'm pretty certain
Ooh.
12 hits.
Yeah, I think it was 12.
Yep. And the other 2 are going for the twins, and they're hit again. Rightio. So the 2 that are attacking you.
Oh wait, so does it hit if it's the same, or does it have to exceed it?
It has to exit, so they got a 12. Oh, hang on. That was 12 before their buffs. Let me just double check their buffs again.
Okay, then that's fine. If they have both.
Yeah, they had +2 to accuracy, so
Oh yeah.
they. Rightio, so they are both doing mighty blows against you.
Woohoo!
So that will be. Double check. Their strength is. That. So that will be 9 damage from 2 of them.
In total?
That was from one of them, and the other one did 12. So you minus your armor from both of those, though. So that would be
Okay.
5 and 8 damage.
Oh, they are starting to scratch me.
And the other two don't get the benefit of that, so noted. So there we go, and that now brings it to Bingo's turn.
Can I use my healing kit to heal the barman
Yes, you
while
can.
attempting to apologise? Like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're a little accident prone. Sometimes we elbow people in the face. Sometimes we explode things. We're very sorry. We did Wisp. We're very sorry.
That you may.
I'm a mine.
So I will get you to roll to do the healing. I believe a wisdom check off the top of my head.
Thank you. Wisdom. Not my strong point, I don't think.
That happens to even the best of us.
Sorry, it's actually intelligence. So
Okay. Oh, I was looking at that anyway. Okay. I'm on 17.
17.
No. 2. Yeah, 17. Sorry.
Noted.
Hello, dog.
He struggles a bit, but you manage to clean a lot of the blood out of his eyes and everything like that and start wrapping his head up. He hasn't seemed to cotton on that you were the one that was also jumping him earlier.
Good. Let's keep it that way. No. I'll just apologise. I'm so sorry. So sorry. It's all a big misunderstanding, and I am a minor. Please don't injure me or maim me. That would not be all right.
You hear some incoherent babbling about lunatics and his bar and his poor wife.
Yes. Oh, I'll go and see to your wife. Yes. You just lie here and be safe. And maybe don't look at the carnage for 5 or 10 minutes while we do some cleaning up.
And that, speaking of carnage, brings us to Mug. So, Mug, you're up, and the twins are also joining in your fight still. Do we have a Mug?
Mug disappeared.
Ah. Well, while we're waiting for Mug, I will deal with the twins, who both managed to get their hits in. I swear to God, they're fucking twins. They keep rolling the same damage. There we go. So, the twins have picked themselves back up again. Then one of them holds his hand out to the other, and they spin each other around and deliver solid roundhouse kicks to the face of two of the nearest toughs. It looks like they're kind of used to fighting side by side like this. And do we have a Mug back?
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, good. You're up.
Yeah, I dropped it because I had to just quickly reset.
That's all good.
So,
So,
it's my turn to batter some people.
yep.
If I get enough stunt points, can I do 2 attacks? That would be really lovely. I probably won't get enough stunt. I definitely got 1 stunt point, which is not great for. Yeah, I probably will not actually hit. Really,
How much did you get in total?
I'm definitely not hitting them with this because
It
I rolled. It's 1 point more than a 3.
How much in total?
Okay, so let me see. And I just add the accuracy to it, right?
Yep, accuracy plus the dice totals.
Yeah, because
Okay. Ooh, that could have gone horribly.
it was very close to being a triple.
You spin to throw a punch at the nearest movement you see and pull your punch just before you clobber one of the twins in the nuts.
Oh, again! Oops, that was close. They might be getting fed up with my shit.
Edric, you are up.
Did they notice?
Did I notice that one of the twins was nearly punched in the dick again?
Yes.
I'm gonna just piss myself laughing and not do anything. I'm gonna specifically hold my action. If anyone pulls a weapon, I want to be the first one to shoot.
Go for it. That brings it to the barman, who is just lying incomprehensible on the floor right now. And now the toughs are going to have their turn again.
I do feel bad for the barman and the poor lady.
So the ones attacking the twins barely miss them by a whisker. And that one, the 2 that attack you, Mug, seem to be a bit thrown off by the fact that you've just spun on one of your allies.
They mess up as well. It's not just me
Well,
who messes up.
They manage to hit, but they don't do as well. So
Okay.
one of them just did a 6 and one did a 3.
One of them did a total of 3 damage.
Yep, one did a total of 3 damage.
Yeah, that's not going to do much.
Yep. And that brings it to Bingo.
I'm gonna peep out and have a look for the wife.
You look around and you see a full-blown brawl going on. There is a couple of the crew sort of standing around loosely to the sides, nearest the exit, so they can leg it if needed. The wife is still laid out on the floor next to the table you were sitting at.
Okay, can I make a break for it for the wife?
Yep, you dash across towards her, and basically, as you get near, you see that Mug has done a number on her face. She is bleeding everywhere. You're pretty certain the nose is broken.
No one die, right?
She is completely out of it.
I don't have anything other than a healing kit. Oh wait, did we get? We got potions, didn't we? No.
I believe someone was making potions.
Okay, I will attempt to healing kit her as best I can, and I will feed her one of the coffee beans, one of the magical ones, the ones I don't know what they do.
Rightio. So what I will get you to do is roll an intelligence check, and then I need to go to my chart. Roll 2d6 and tell me the total of the 2d6.
Okay, right. Intelligence. 14 intelligence and 2d6. 9.
Did you try to heal first or give the coffee bean first?
Heal first and then give the coffee bean.
Noted.
Uh-oh. Could have exploded their head.
Could be worse.
Just to clarify, I'm giving her one of the coffee beans, not one of the explosives I possess.
That's
Oh,
fine.
you aren't giving her coffee an explosive thing?
Yes, I'm going to heal her up and then I'm going to blow her head off. That's the old
Hey.
bingo, man. That's the bingo of 20 minutes ago. That's not me.
Hey, the best way to prevent her from hurting is by having her head explode.
Yeah, gets rid of the headache.
So
Permanently.
you clean her face up. You sort of very tenderly snap her nose back into place. And using some of the remnants of an abandoned tankard of ale, you sort of splash it in her face to wake her up. And she starts coughing and gagging and groaning and sits herself up.
And I'll present her with the coffee bean. Take this. It'll make you feel better. I think.
She's still groaning and clutching her head. She takes it and just shots it like a pill.
Think
And
he'll
then-
be very glad he's wearing the mask right now and he'll just like peer at what's going on.
She blinks a few times and sort of squints at you and goes, "You're kind of short for a doctor."
Yes. I'm not so much a doctor, more of a... how do you feel?
She goes, "Surprisingly good for someone that took a chair across the face."
It was a gentle terror cruiser.
Would you like to take my hand and I will scutter you across the room to your lovely husband, who is a little in and out of consciousness, waiting for you? He was very concerned with his last breath, asking how you were.
She gets up and
His last breath was not his last. He is still with us.
she's sort of looking between you and the bar and back at you, and then sort of glances behind her with her eyes opening in terror at the bar fight.
A lot of these people, I'm sure I can get them to cease and desist. But in the meantime, if you would like to go and assist your husband...
So she bolts off over towards the bar and rushes behind it.
Cool. So I'll jump up on a table and start surveying the bar fight like, how can we break this up?
We're not yet done.
And with that, we're now to Mug.
Okay, so I will try to hit better. I have to show them how a good bar fight is. Okay, well, that's slightly better. Great. Alright. So no stunt points either, so that's going to be a boring. So that is 12, I think, in total. Does that hit?
That is a hit.
Yay! So I can at least Do some damage. Mug, try your best. Okay. Your best is alright. 6. So Mug just punches someone in the gut gently.
So that was 6 damage, including your strength.
Oh, is it the strength? I thought it was accuracy. If it's strength,
Accuracy to hit, and then you add your strength to your damage.
so it's 7.
Noted. So 7 damage. That brings that to that. Rightio. You seem to be doing just as well in the fight as the 2 twins. You
Yeah.
deliver a solid punch to the guts of the guy in front of you, and the twins basically
This is good fun.
step up, fake out their opponents, and then do a hook to cross hit the guy opposite their sibling.
Great fun, boys. Lads having.
Righty-o. Edric, you're still chuckling away and watching the fight. So far, no one's drawn a weapon. They seem to be keeping it to fists.
In that case, I'm gonna relax a little bit more and take a drink from one of the tables. I don't care.
Yep. Bingo. Up to you.
Huh? You went a little bit jumpy halfway through that sentence.
Ah, sorry. Bingo, it's up to your turn.
Okay. So. Can I see if the husband and wife behind the bar? If I'm on the table, can I? They're doing okay.
You can't quite see from the table behind the bar.
Okay. Then I'm going to assume that they're all right. And. Well, this is none of my business. So I'm going to go off and get myself some coffee. And I'm going to have one of my own magic coffee beans. And I'm going to sit on the table and watch.
So that will be a 2d6 for your bean.
Mm-hmm. Ah! 7.
Noted. You start to feel strange,
Oh god.
then a little queasy,
Oh no!
It was just a little bean.
and then everything starts to feel wrong. That will be a -3 on all your abilities. So you feel your strength start to ebb away. You're feeling nauseous. You can hardly think.
I can see
Not the right bit.
He'll just sit on the table with his head in his hands. Oh no! Bingo's reached his tipping point. I'm too noisy!
Radio. That brings us.
Oof.
That brings us down to Mug.
Woohoo! Okay. I want to spice up this bar fight a bit. Okay, come on, stunt points to me. Ah, almost. Well, it's going to be a good hit, but it's really. So I think I'm definitely going to hit. So I will land a good, solid 15.
Yeah, that's a definite hit.
Yeah. So I will land good solid hit of 6 again. That's a bit boring. Can I hit them on the jaw? A gentle jaw hit.
Yeah,
Fist them on their jaw.
you have slammed a fist hard across this guy's jaw, heard a crack and seen a bit of blood, and it looks like one of his teeth is chipped. The twins have done, once again, simultaneous strikes on their opponents, but they don't seem to have done as well this time round. The three that have been on the receiving end of all your hits are looking pretty rough for wear.
No.
Anyone who's not directly involved in the fight, also do a perception.
Dirty. 16.
Noted.
Is that seeing?
Yep. Righty. Oh, so Silas and Tarin, you see another one of those pouches come flying across the top of the bar. And this one's lit.
Uh-oh.
It's lit, did you say?
Yep.
Yeah.
I dive behind the table that I've been standing behind.
Is there anything around me that isn't alcohol? So like water or coffee or something that isn't going to explode if I try to douse the...
You see a lot of
light.
wine and like ale around. You're not seeing a lot of water.
Oh dear.
Any sand or anything that I could use at all?
I'll get you to do.
Sand.
Well, like if you put fire in sand, it goes out.
You don't see sand, but you see like a bag of flour.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna like leg it towards it, pick it up, and leg it back to the flower, and like punch it through the flower to as deep as I can, in the hopes that that will at least
You're gonna pick up
muffle the explosion.
You're gonna pick up the explosive.
Well, it's a bit of time, surely. Has it got time, or I don't know how it works?
It's basically burning down a fuse.
Okay, can I dump the flour on top of it instead then?
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, it's flammable! No!
No, a flower shouldn't be.
Rightio.
Flammable! Mills go on fire all the time! There's flower particles in the air and they catch on fire! That's how mills explode! Did you read nothing about England in the past?
Does flour not work? Okay.
Well,
Bingo would know
she
this.
better try it.
Bingo would severely know this because if flour
Anything
touches
that makes
fire,
Bingo knows!
if flour and fire get close together, they are not friends.
Oh, well, I did not know that. Well, I'm going to assume that Tarin didn't know that and is going to attempt
Probably
to do
not.
that and hopefully somebody will stop him.
My gigantic
Flower.
of flour dust destroyed a mine in Minnesota on the 2nd of May, 1878, killing 14 workers at the Washington Washburn A mill.
Oh my
Is this actually real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
The
That's
fact
nuts.
that a flour bomb is a legit thing.
Ah.
It's cheap, it's cheerful, and you can make bread afterwards.
I genuinely
Bingo.
didn't know that. I've learned something.
I'll get you to
Sorry.
roll an intelligence just to see if you remember any of this.
Oh no, I've got a minus. Oh god.
Yeah, good luck.
Honey, the world's gone crazy. Topsy jelly.
Sometimes you can get lucky.
The fact that Bingo is one of the more sane people in this campaign at this moment is
Yeah.
painful. Here, this is a good example of what happens when flower and fire get close together.
Yep. Yeah, I got a total of 4. Well,
Oh my god.
minus the 3.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Flower and fire are not good together.
Oh my god.
Bingo,
That's decidedly dangerous.
you seem to remember something about flower and fire, but you don't remember the specifics.
The
Oh
walls!
dear.
The walls are trying to eat my tail! I don't have a tail.
And I'll get you all to roll a dexterity.
Is that
Everyone.
including me lying on the ground behind the table?
You get to dodge this one.
So all of us are rolling this.
Yep, just a straight dex. Acrobatics
dear.
if you've got it.
And of course now I roll well. I mean that's good. I shouldn't complain. But it's always my non-combat that are good. Mark has rolled the best. He's just prepared for anything that could happen in a bar fight.
Rightio. So, a couple of things happen at once.
Oh no.
Bingo, it comes to you what flower and fire does together at the last moment, and you tumble off the table you're standing on and just lie prone on the ground cowering. Wisp, you see the result of this and at the last minute duck behind the bar. Mug and the twins hear what happens and hit the deck as one. Tarin, by sheer dumb luck, you have succeeded in tripping as you've yeeted this giant sack of flour on top of this explosive device, and it has detonated in the world's biggest fireball you've seen.
So we are destroying this poor pub instead. Oh my god!
Wait.
I just wanted a good bar fight.
He threw a fucking hand grenade.
The 4 toughs didn't duck in time and are engulfed.
Oh man! They were probably drunk. Poor guys.
3 of
It
them
was such a good fight.
3 of them drop to their knees and flail and then drop to the ground and stop moving.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
I killed them. No.
Oh dear.
The rest of the bar is scattering and this place is starting to get smoky, and it is clear that the roof is very much on fire.
Oh no. Tarin's gonna look up a bit stunned and be like, "Oh no! What will I tell the captain?"
Well.
For we cannot go into, we are no longer welcome here either. Let's just add it to the list of places we're never going to go back to and sail.
To the ship, everyone!
Yeah, to ship sounds good. Yeah,
A
Shit.
quick look around the bar lets you realise that the rest of the crew have already thought of that and are already bolting.
Yeah, okay, I guess the fight is finished. Let's wrap up, guys, and leg it. It was a good fight, thank you.
Yep. I'm gonna make sure that Bingo gets out as well because, well, who else is gonna sit on my shoulder?
You pick up a really confused looking Bingo and just perch them on your shoulder.
Was that boom good enough? Is that a yes? Oh. I'm gonna pat him on the head and I'm gonna go, it'll be all right. We'll get you some coffee when we're back on the ship. I'm gonna look at the rest of the party with a question mark in my face going,
We're still running at this point.
Yep. This is mid-run. He'll just be, guys, what do I do with this?
Yeah, so we are just lugging it, I guess.
You can stay if you want.
No, thank you.
All that alcohol going to waste.
As you make it out, you
Oh,
realise
that will burn well.
that as you get out the door, you realise that the place is actually starting to become a bit of a cheery blaze. There's a couple of people that look like they were staying upstairs that are now trying to climb down from the windows.
Oh my god! Oh!
Wall.
What did we do?
Can we rescue them somehow? Is there a convenient? I don't know. Can we tell them to throw out a mattress or something?
Yeah.
Land on.
Yeah, actually, is there a way to rescue colors? I'm feeling bad.
To be fair, Silas is just enjoying this. Also, ow! that last gif.
Some of the people have sort of fashioned like ropes out of blankets and seem to be trying to climb. There seems to be a group that are indeed shoving a mattress out. You hear from that group someone going, "Hurry, hurry! The floor is on frickin' fire! Move it!"
Oh god!
The floor is on fire.
Don't make this noise. People are dying here.
Oh.
After a little bit, they shove the mattress clean out the window and then start throwing themselves out after it.
Roboty?
You went a bit roboty there.
Yep, Robot Me was trying to say that you were roboty.
Ah, okay. So I answered in kind.
Yep.
So the group that have been shoving the mattress out the window managed to succeed and then proceed to start trying to jump out. The first bloke that jumps misses. The other two succeed. You hear a somewhat loud crack.
Oh.
Whoa.
Was that your back, neck, or elbow?
He screams his leg.
Oh.
That was not on the list. I suggest
Better
amputation.
his leg than the rest of his soul and body and mind.
At least it wasn't your neck.
Wait, is there blood coming from this guy that just went splat?
No, it's only a second story window.
Okay. I think an amputation would be the only reasonable solution here.
An amputation.
Yup.
It'd be a little unnecessary in the middle of a fire.
Well, his
Oh,
leg is
surely
hurting.
not.
His leg is
Are you-
hurting. We should help
Are
him.
you a doctor?
I
can
call
fix
myself
a
a
break-
doctor.
You
I
see,
don't think you should amputate anyone.
just at that moment, you see the barkeep's wife come legging it out of the tavern, dragging her husband with her, and shouting for everyone to run.
What did you have in there?
As she runs past you, you hear gunpowder.
Oh.
So, realizing that I am literally a walking bag of gunpowder at this point, I do the only sensible thing. I bolt as fast as I can away from the fire.
That's just broke his leg.
No, the guy that jumped from the second story window broke his leg.
Yeah, but he's still like near the blaze, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not me.
Great idea.
To be fair, Silas is not necessarily known as a nice guy.
So maybe Mug can pick up the guy. Okay.
Yep.
Mug is strong enough to do that, right?
I'll get you to do a might for that.
Okay. Now work well. Oh. Ah. Drop dice, but I think this will be a yes. I think Mug will drop it again. I think Mug will very heroically use. And I dropped it a third time.
Oh.
So I might check. So that includes strength.
So strength, +2 to your with might as well, and your
Yeah.
dice total.
Yeah, I think Mug will be able to pick up this guy with his.
Rightio. So you rush on over, grab him, and hold him gently like a sack of potatoes, and start running as fast as you can down the street.
Which is pretty fast. Right? Let's be honest.
And I'm presuming the rest of you are legging it with Mug.
Agreed.
Really?
Just adopted someone else.
Well, we are doing damage control here.
So I'm going to need that.
I mean, that was one hell of a way to end the bar fight.
And just was that spoken like that, Mug, or was that out of
Yeah.
character? Right. So just as you
No,
say that,
yeah.
just as Mug says that exact phrase, the tavern explodes,
Oh.
turning the entire two-story wooden building into kindling.
A free firework.
Ooh, a toothpick.
We are not nice people, are we?
Silas is decidedly not. Ooh, henna in your hair?
Yeah. It's a way to dye it. So I'm really sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to call it quits for tonight, I'm afraid.
All good.
Aw.
To be fair,
And,
I'm
I was
Yeah?
gonna say I'm not sure when I'm gonna be joining again. Because I moved to South Korea on Sunday, so
Oh, that's really cool though. Enjoy South Korea.
Yep.
I will. So sorry, I will. I'm happy for Glenn if you want to use Tarin as an NPC for a while.
Yep, I'll work that
Aw.
out with you.
Such a shame.
In the meantime, I will actually call it here and just say that you've managed to leg it down towards the ship.
Tuesday, guys. Wow.
And Tarin has the perfect excuse not to be explaining this to the captain.
So yeah.
So I'll get a
We'll
quick
just have
yo-ho.
We'll just have Mug do the word in Tarin's stead.
Yep.
Oh no.
Alrighty. I'll get a bye to the recording from all of you, and we will cut
Yo-ho.
it there.
Woo!
Yo-ho.
Yo